Hey.
Hey, we're doing an interview.
We are Astrohym, watching the clever references.
Hey, Ash here from the Clever References, here with another episode of MusoChatter. First of all, housekeeping, Facebook, Instagram. Our single video has been getting like 2,000 views, which is like amazing. Thank you very much for that. Please share with your friends. And okay, subscribe and click the notification button and all that jazz. So with housekeeping out of the way, another episode of MusoChatter, this time with a band called Astrohym. They're very good friends with us. We actually opened for them for their EP launch, and they opened for us for our single launch. We actually recorded the interview at their EP launch, and then the performance of Step Back, which is their single, is from the single launch. Anyway, without further ado, here is Astrohym. We're here with
Astrohym.
Yay now. So like introduce yourself from you.
Oh, well, I'm the bass player.
Yeah.
I'm French. I joined the band recently.
And your name is?
Mel.
Yay, that's the important bit.
I'm Stacey, I'm the lead singer. I joined the band 5 years ago. We started the band.
I'm Matthew, I'm the drummer. Stacey and I started the band about 5 years ago.
Hey now.
Yeah.
And
my name's Adam. Some call me the savior of said band. I'm a guitarist and I joined 3 years ago.
alright. So this is your first EP launch.
Yes.
I heard 5 years. What's taking so long?
Wow.
This EP has been absolutely cursed. Like,
Okay.
everything has gone wrong. Computers have broken, voices have broken,
Bass players
have left over and over again. This one's sticking around, I think.
I hope so, Mel.
Also, being picky with how it sounds as well. I know I certainly was with the guitar tone.
Right.
I remember going, oh, it doesn't sound right. I want to re-record it and do it again and again and again. And I think eventually someone said, you know, enough is enough. Must have been
Probably
Stacey.
me.
So focusing on Stacey and Matt for a bit because the originators, I guess. So how did it first start?
Well, Stacey just wanted to start a band, and like she knew I was a drummer, and I had like other gear as well, like guitars.
This was high school-ish?
No, this was
Started our relationship.
yeah. Shortly, we'd been seeing each other for like 6 months, and
Yeah.
we moved in together, and Stacey wanted a hobby, I suppose, and
What? No. I wanted a band, and I knew drummers were really hard to find,
Yeah.
and you could play drums, and I said, well, it'd be silly not to.
How did you decide on the name Astrohym? Because it's pretty good.
well.
I would think that's a
Story.
Well, our last lead guitarist and Stacey were like talking about it for a while, and originally we were going to be called the Paper Cups, and that wasn't good enough, and then it was like maybe the Toasties, the ham and cheese Toasties, and then eventually, like, I don't know, it was just like after messaging back and forth, it was Astrohym, which I think is like Latin for like spaceman.
Is it?
Something like that.
No, because what happened was the lead guitarist wanted us to call us the Toasties, and I was having a ham and cheese toasty at the time. And then I said, but I liked Astro Smash, but I think that's like a thing already somewhere.
Okay.
And then so I said, well, what about Astrohym? And then he didn't want it to be Space Pigs. And I said, well, what about Astrohym? And then he said he didn't want it religious, so we took out the N.
Right.
And now it's just Astrohym with an M.
It's a very good name.
Yeah.
So so you've been gigging for this lineup. How long has it been?
4 months.
Something like that. Yeah.
4 months. Right. I'll get to Mel, which I think is the newest member of this lineup. Yeah. But first, let's go to Adam. So you joined 3 years ago, was it?
Yeah, September 2016.
Yeah. And like you told me, like you're a bachelor's of music, and are you in like several other bands, or this is your main one? Or?
This was my first band. I've recently joined an Australian rock cover band,
Yeah.
just for a bit of extra money. With Stacey, we're in a duo called Willow in Motion.
Yeah.
And we started that with the thought in mind that anything that Stacey wrote in the past or in the future that wouldn't really necessarily fit the band would be played in Willow in Motion.
Right.
For the two of us.
Sure. So, getting the focus onto Mel a bit, you mentioned that you were French. So, what are you doing in an Australian band?
I kind of fell in love with Australia.
Yeah.
And yeah, moved here about 5 years ago.
Right.
And yeah, like I used to be in a band when I was like a teenager in France, and like stopped. And I don't know, like being in Australia, I started playing music again. And yeah, these guys needed a bass player, so.
So, is bass your primary instrument, or did you start somewhere else?
I started with a guitar.
Right.
And yeah, kind of like took up the bass, and actually really love it.
So actually, the interesting thing about when I saw Mel for the first time on Melbourne Musicians, and you guys like invited us on the bill. Thank you very much, by the way. Is that it's not the first time I've seen your picture actually, because I was looking for a bass player for the Clever References, and there was this website called Bandmix, Bandmix.au, and so there's an alternate universe where Mel is the bassist for the Clever References. Anyway, so 4 months. Have you been writing new material? Tell us about Step Back. Is it this material with the 4, or from a previous lineup? Yeah.
Step Back's a really old song. It's probably like 9 years old now. I wrote it before I was even in this band. It was with my last band, and that band was recording an EP, and we needed like an extra song, and I kind of wrote it like 3 weeks out, and it just kind of all came together really quickly, and everyone was pretty happy with it. And then when we started this band, I thought, well, it's a pretty simple song. We'll just start playing it just for fun, and it just kind of stuck.
Right.
Stuck around.
So when you guys got us on the bill, I felt obligated to like listen to like what band are we actually playing with. So like what I noticed when I was watching the video for Step Back, the sound is very correct me if I'm wrong, the sound is very 90s indie, kind of sort of that shambolic kind of sort of falling down the stairs type of sound, or that I really love from that time period where everything's not on a grid, or whatever. Is that how you heard it in your heads, or was that from jamming and that sound came out?
I'd say it was probably just from jamming, and that's kind of the sound that came out. We never wanted to like overproduce it or anything, and just kind of play. And we wanted to really capture what it sounded like in our garage.
Yeah.
So it kind of mostly does.
All right.
Sorry about the flush.
Nah, it's okay, mate. Special sound effects. So, with this EP, when is it coming out? Is it out already, actually?
It's coming out like midnight tonight.
Yeah.
Midnight tonight.
It's available here tonight.
Yeah.
Got physical copies.
Right.
It's coming out tonight.
So, can you tell me what the name of the EP is? Where can we listen to it? What should listeners expect?
So it's called Grand Central EP,
Right.
which is in reference to the address where our rehearsal space is, in the garage of Matthew and Stacey's place.
All right.
It seemed fitting. I think we got the idea from a radio gig we did once, and the host was talking about another band who did that.
All right.
And yeah, you can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music. It'll be available on Bandcamp as well.
Yeah.
Physically here for tonight as
Yeah.
well.
It'll be everywhere.
It'll be everywhere and anywhere we can put it.
Right. So, thank you very much for the interview.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And now Astrohym with the song Step Back live at Mr Boogie Man BAR. All right. Bye.